TheFrXion here, Tiger Tank 12, having to call me. I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks, where we are today discussing the topic of the Christmas event, and we're going to be having a final verdict on if the Christmas event was a decent event or if it was a letdown. And I think, personally for me, it was a bit of a mix of both worlds. It wasn't the best Christmas event we had, but it also wasn't the worst. But this is just my personal opinion, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly why I think that is. So, yeah, feel free to write your opinion into the chat below, and, always tell me your arguments as well. That's very important. Don't just want to hear why you think, or that you think it was the worst or the best. Tell me why. So, probably one of the highlights in the premium loot boxes is this tank right here. This is the Iron Arnie, the M47 patent improved, that I at first thought wasn't going to be a very good vehicle. I thought it was just going to be like a standard tank with very bad accuracy, maybe some decent armor added on top of it. But it turned out to be just as strong, or almost maybe even stronger in certain regards, than the BZ-176. So, yeah, the Iron Arnie is a powerhouse, and I did not expect that. So, pleasant surprise for me, since I own the tank. But a very unpleasant surprise for a lot of the players that have to go up against the BZ-176 and the Iron Arnie. But that's obviously on the side, because I don't think that the premium loot boxes had a huge impact on the event itself. Obviously, they're going to have a big impact because the BZ-176 has made a tank come into the game, which is really, really toxic in my opinion. But that's just Wargaming's way of, I don't know, celebrating the New Year and Christmas at the same time. But yeah, one major point I think that we have to talk about and we have to highlight is that this year's Christmas event, in my opinion, was much more free-to-play player-friendly in terms of getting to festive level atmosphere 10. Now, they did obviously still split the rewards, so if you wanted to get 50% additional experience and 50% additional credits, 100% additional experience, you still had to do the missions for Mila, but these missions were doable and you didn't have to pay a single dime, or you didn't have to pay in gold to be able to do those. And I think, generally speaking, you were never able to get as many resources as you were able to get this year. These resources, when you would get just by having the daily login, having 2 friends designated as your best friends where you could visit the garage, and also doing the daily missions. Now, the only thing that I think was worse than the years before is that they took away the small loot boxes, the free loot boxes, which always gave you quite a few goodies. These goodies were, standard fire extinguishers, sometimes if you were lucky, premium, equipment pieces, and generally speaking, it just gave you something with those daily missions. And I think it would have been a great addition if they would have just added both of those things into, one big kind of free-to-play fiesta, where they give you the daily missions with the resources you get, and at the same time you also get the small little boxes, because that would have been, in my opinion, one of the most free-to-play player friendly kind of events in recent memory. But having talked about that, if we're moving on, there was one very, very bad thing about this Christmas event, and it certainly was the gambling aspect. Now, Wargaming were really trying to bait us with the Object 2A3, and I did play this vehicle. At first, I got it in the very first few boxes. I got a token and I got it as a rental. That was at the time before I knew that the chances of getting one were so goddamn slim. If I had known that at that point, I wouldn't have played the vehicle at all. But I played a few games, I had 5 rental games. I played a few games, and the vehicle itself wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't the worst vehicle either. At the same time, I think it was quite a bit of fun, and I thought, if I play the game and I do my daily logins, I get enough resources, I can convert them, I would eventually get the vehicle, but it didn't go through. And this is like the biggest issue for me, is that Wargaming were insincere with the numbers that they have given us, because I'm pretty sure that the chances of getting both the rental and the permanent one being 1-to-1 or equal 11%, that was not the case, because I only got rentals. Afterwards, I ended up with about 45 rentals, and I can't even sell the rental vehicle, and I have no plans of playing it, because I think it was just a really scummy move by Wargaming, because they wanted to have players buying these loot boxes and then just gambling all of their money away to get an object 283 which doesn't even make premium credits. And I think that was probably one of the scummiest things Wargaming did in recent years. And I also think that that's pretty problematic, and one of the reasons why this Christmas event tanked a bit. I think that generally speaking, the Christmas atmosphere was great. I think I had quite a bit of fun playing some vehicles, and also getting the bonuses with credits and with experience is always nice. But generally speaking, I think the soup was a bit sour because of that Object 283, and because of the BZ-176. I think that had quite a bit of an impact why the game itself was a bit, well, unplayable at certain times during the festive time. I wouldn't say it was the worst Christmas event, but I wouldn't put it in the top 5 or in the best Christmas event category. It was kind of mediocre, with one very big salty teaspoon, which was the Object 283. But generally speaking, I just think that we as a player base maybe have grown tired of the Christmas events, because there has been a lot of negativity towards it. And with the BZ-176, I think generally speaking, Wargaming haven't really made us a big favor, because they have like stretched the possibilities even further for tier 8s, and it's insane what that tank can do. So generally speaking, I'm not really sure where Wargaming are going to be going next year with the Christmas event. It's still very far away. But, you know, I have the feeling that Wargaming, they don't really learn from their mistakes. They are a company that is very unwilling of learning and admitting their mistakes. And I think this year is going to be the year where we are going to have to really look quite closely towards what Wargaming is doing, because this could be a break or make kind of year for World Tanks, especially with all of the changes and the additional features that they are, you know, currently developing. If they add a new crew system into World of Tanks that is really problematic and is completely stretched with different monetization schemes, I think we might have a very big problem at our hands. But, you know, I'm gonna go into this being optimistic and hopeful that they're gonna add better things to the game. And you know, I'm not even gonna talk about balance anymore. I'm not gonna open that can of worms. But either way, hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, comment, like, and subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. I'm not sure when that will be, but we're gonna go back to the about 2 to 3 videos a week kind of schedule, and I'm gonna see if I can streamline my videos more and have a little bit of a standardization on certain things. So, see you guys.